Day 3 of Grand Slam track, Miami is in the books. And for the record, I'm about to get on the road, but I figured that I should probably be, maybe I can't do a full-on recap because of that, but I can do something like a reaction because I witnessed the slams from day 1, day 2, day 3. Of course, I was following Jamaica, but this requires certainly some conversation because the experience is, I'm not going to say you can't put it into words because clearly that's what I'm going to try to do. But yeah, there's a lot for me to discuss. So first, let me just, say this part. Day 3. This is the closest thing I can give you to a full-on recap. And I do apologize, by the way, because there's not going to be any camera editing or anything like that. I'm just going to keep it rolling. Again, just putting it out there. Day 3, if I was thinking of a theme for it, the theme is basically going to be dominance. Because you have to understand that in track, people say they want to see the stars. Well, we normally feel like we have to wait all the way till the end of the year to figure out who those stars are. Or if we think we know who those people are, then we want to see them come back and, do what stars do. We want to see them win. And we want to see them dominate. That's what the expectation is. So this is just day 3. What I'm going off ahead, again, I apologize if I missed something. But between, Kenny Bednarek going wire to wire. He went the 100, and granted it was slightly windy in the 100, but his 200 was not slightly windy at all. And that's a world-leading time in the 200 to go along with the 1986 we already got from, Alex Ogando, who's edged out on the thousands by Jareem Richards. So now you've got 1, 2, 3 in the same weekend. Grand Slam track giving you, the top 3 times in the world in the 200. You move over, of course, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, do I have to say any more? She runs the women's 400. Puts on, a great show as she always does, stretches out the field. By the time she's coming down that home straight, everybody's eyes look up at her, look at the clock, look up at her, look up at the clock. And I'm going to go out on a limb and just say this part where people have commented, oh, we want to see Sydney race more. Well, be careful what you wish for. Because if you want to see her race more, then this is what you're going to watch. You're going to watch dominance for the most part. And I'm going to say this because just on that one point, stay tuned because she will be running the long sprint specifically where, Paulino and Nasser, she's going to get to go at it with them on the point scores. So we're going to see how that all falls. To me, it's almost like the final boss battle. But let's go over to Paulino and Nasser because Paulino takes care of business. She did not win the long sprint when Gabby Thomas was there. But now she comes and, Nasser, went out in the 4 like she was going to put on and Paulino, holds her off like she gets off that home straight. That was then. So today in the 200, there was no doubt. She comes off the turn and, there she goes. 22.30, that's a Dominican national record. The question is, were we ever going to see that? Because in the way the world was set up, it was arguable whether she was ever going to run a 200, again, in the world the way it was set up. But now, that's what you're getting. Paulino's giving you a 200 and putting on a show while she does it. Again, I'm just spitballing here. You have the men's hurdles. In the men's 110 hurdles, Trey Cunningham wins. And Trey Cunningham is different because I feel like he's a name in track, but remember, we're talking about the American hurdle crew, the same hurdle crew where you have Grant Holloway and getting onto USA teams in all the events, but especially in the hurdles for the men and the women is a big challenge. And Trey Cunningham, he beats Grant Holloway at Tom Jones, comes to Grand Slam, wins the 110 hurdles, runs the personal best while he does it, right up with his personal best, then goes into the 100. And this is what I have to say. I apologize to Trey Cunningham because I knew he could hurdle, but I did not know that he could sprint like that. I saw what he did indoors in college in the 60, and he said it, I believe, when they interviewed him. He was like, hey, I get to show, what I'm capable of because people don't know. If I remember correctly, he broke 10-2, and I was watching Sasha Zoya the whole time because I thought, well, Sasha Zoya is going to win the 100 because he had won it in Jamaica. Well, that changed, and the reason it changed is because Jamal Britt wasn't there, and Trey Cunningham wasn't there, and those are the men who beat him now. So again, we're getting to really see what the type of show people can put on. And yeah, you got to throw Grant Fisher in there, where he doesn't win in his first event, comes back in the 5K, which I guess you could say that's his thing, but he holds it down. Again, dominance. And he had to run. That's the next thing. He had to not just win, because of the way the point scores are set up in Grand Slam. If you're not familiar. He had to just not just win, but assume that Koskorin was going to get second. So he had to win by a big enough margin to ensure that he was going to be the Slam champion. Again, this is just what I'm remembering off of day 3. I'll throw in a few extras. Again, day 1, you probably already know. American record, Masai Russell, Tia Jones right up there with her. I mean, Akira Nugent still pulled out the slam, and we got to, watch these athletes go back and forward. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, I already touched on Jareem Richards and Alex Ogando. That was a shocker because, I mean, I knew Jareem Richards was fast. I just didn't know he was that fast right now. I knew Ogando. I kind of gave him the race, and he gave the race that I thought he could give. And Jareem Richards just edged him out anyway. I mean, I bring all of this up because when you're at the slams, the first thing is, I mean, Miami, they put on a show. The athletes put on a show. I mean, I'm going to say this, shout out to the team. And, because, I'm, of course, doing all this press stuff. I mean, they took care of me amazingly. Totally enjoyed the experience. Everything was, top notch on that regard. Shout out to Commissioner Johnson for everything he's done and where the league is headed. I mean, I get it. Some people might, not. If you haven't been to a slam yet, which is still a lot of people, then you don't get it. This is not just a track meet. This is a sporting event, but it takes track to a very different level, I guess, as far as how you experience it. I mean, I'm sitting there. I mean, me and my production assistant, we're watching the meet, and both of us, we're sprinting guys. I mean, I coach distance, so that kind of brought me into that world a little bit. But I mean, we're sprinting guys at the end of the day. And he's like, I paid attention to all the races. I enjoyed them all equally. And I'm like, for real, bro? Like, keep it a buck with me. Like, did you really enjoy all the races? He's like, nah, like, the way it's set up and the way the pacing and the way everything's rolling, like, I'm able to now follow the distance races. He's even remembering now that, Nedick won this event, and like names that we don't know, or not we, but like in general, names people may not be familiar with, because let's be real, the track community is, or track and field community, like people have the event groups, the things that they like, and then, but like now it's all in one place, and I say Grand Slam track gave us the weight classes of track and field, or at least again on the track side, like you're getting those weight classes, and now we get to see the athletes come into the ring and throw hands. I mean, of course, things can progress, things can continue to go, but I mean, even for the athletes, like, I mean, definitely, like, from what I can tell, like, we're getting the performances on one end because the rhetoric is like, hey, they're being set up to take care of business. I mean, even when you hear Ja'Cory Patterson in the 4 and the emotion, like, even though he doesn't win the slam, he says, like, hey, I was working UPS, getting off at 4 a.m. And because of, having to do that, and now coming to the slams, remember, this is a man who was at World Indoor. He's like, I still had that job because he didn't have the financial security. So now to come to a place where it's like, okay, coming to Grand Slam and taking care of business, 43.98, world leading time. Like, this video isn't, like, the title I'm probably going to use, I'm guessing it's like, something like, all of it has to be some type of world record. Like, it has to be some type of, I don't know what the world record is. No, we didn't watch an individual world record go down. We got something close to it, close to the women's world record in the 100 hurdles. But all of this has to be, man, I'm sorry. I'll go back to the women's sprints for a moment. Because with the women's short sprints, the way Melissa Jefferson Wooden, edges it out, seeing her come 1-2, and I mean, what she's showing, I mean, again, this is all part of how the slams are. I talked about dominance and greatness. Well, when you talk about the women's sprinters, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, her name now needs to be put, certainly, if you don't believe me, fine then. Put her on the watch list. But you've got the women with the gold medals, and then you've got the women who don't. And no, she doesn't have a world or Olympic gold medal yet. And I mean, hey, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you got to see her as, you can't just put her in the don't column anymore. Because the way she's taking care of business in the slams, and again, coming to the 200, I think what the 2-event model does for especially some of those event groups, like 3K, 5K, your 1-2s, the ones that like really double hard together, I mean, you can't win if you ain't the best. You just can't win that group. I'm just being real. There is no funny business. You might be good at one event, but the athletes who we expect to see at the top of the line when we get to the end of the year, for the most part, if you real, it's going to show up in the slams. I mean, I get it. Some people aren't here, but if you real, it's going to show up. Josh Kerr is proof. If you real, it's going to show up. He went to a slam. He didn't perform well. I mean, same thing against Jareem Richards. I mean, went to a slam, didn't perform at his best. Came to another slam, said, oh, I know what it's about now. Takes care of business. Slam champion. There's so much more that's, I guess, to experience. Because, I mean, the broadcast experience, which is what I was familiar with, as far as, I mean, I wasn't there in Jamaica. I mean, hey, while I'm watching the meet, I'm pulling the broadcast up on one feed. Like, hey, flip up the laptop, see the broadcast on one end. And then I'm looking out at the meet live, standing there on the other and seeing what it feels like. They're two different experiences. I think the broadcast team is killing it as far as I'm concerned. But the live experience, like what we got in Miami, it's like, I'll basically say, like, this is what, when you say the term pro track, when that's what you imagine, if you're a high school kid right now, if you're a college athlete right now, and you imagine what it means to compete in pro track, well, I think this is really what you meant. You really meant something that feels like this. And I get it, Olympics, Worlds, those things are happening. Worlds are coming later this year. It's an amazing product. It's something that I'm going to be looking forward to. I will be covering. I'll be paying attention. We don't know who's going to be standing on top of the podium at Worlds. This, the slams, is something different. And that something different matters now, but I believe that something different will matter even more in the future. And I think it's okay that we can have more than one thing that matters in the track community. We can have nice things too, just like other sports. So, hey, if you stuck around this far in the video with me just staring at you and talking, I have to say a sincere thank you, because it is clear that you are definitely a real one. And I know I didn't tell you before, but I'll say it now. Hey, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. It really helps me out, helps out the algorithm. It's, a thank you that you can give me. And hey, if you don't like it, I respect it. It is what it is. And I also got to say shout out to the fans. Anybody who I spoke to this weekend, all of those who I saw at the meet. I mean, hey, it doesn't fall on deaf ears. Truly appreciate it, because without y'all, Coach Rob Track, it wouldn't exist. So, Grand Slam Track Miami, that's my thoughts.